The gang is back together. Look at us,
What's up, guys?
Rob, you all right?
Rob,
Whoa.
you all right?
Oh, yeah. I didn't know that was me. I didn't know that was my turn to say something.
Well, we were all
Jeez,
saying our cheery hellos.
Oh, yeah. I didn't want to speak over anybody. Yeah. Hi. Yeah. Robbie's tired. But Robbie's good. Robbie's ready to go.
Okay, good. What's
is
going
Robbie
on?
tired, dude?
Yeah.
What's going on, man?
Robbie's packing up his apartment. Robbie's moving.
That's a big deal. Moving is very stressful.
Moving is a bitch. Yeah.
Moving is a
It's the
bitch.
fucking worst.
I thought, like, in my head, I was like, I have like a couple things to throw away, but nothing. I've thrown away like 30 bags of garbage.
You have no idea how much shit you have until you move.
Yeah, it's pretty fucking crazy. But it also feels good. I know, like, the old me, like, throwing everything out was like, and I would think about, like, what if in 3 years I need that shirt? Or, like, just stupid, like, hoarder shit. And I feel good that, like, that's very rare now. Like, sometimes I still feel that way about something, but it's pretty good.
I'm actually shocked you had so much to throw away because you're like kind of a minimalist. So what are the things you were throwing away that you had?
That's the thing. Like, I would think the same thing, but it's just like, if I just, like, there's just so much stuff. I don't even know where it, like stupid things like that are like nothing.
Like what? Like kitchen things, clothes things?
Yeah, kitchen things, clothes things. I gave away like 5 bags of clothing that I gave to Kass, and he's leaving it on his porch for them to come pick up because I can't do it in front of where I live because it's like a building.
Oh, you mean like Goodwill will pick it up or something?
Yeah, but Kasim
that's a nice service.
Kasim has a problem with Goodwill, right? They wouldn't pick up your clothes?
You got beef?
I've gone to Goodwill twice to give them clothes, and every time I've showed up with a few bags, they go, "Sorry, we're all full. Sorry, can't take it here, buddy." And I've just ended up throwing clothes away in the trash.
Well, that's not good. I have this.
I tried. I tried 2
did.
separate occasions. Well, what else am I supposed to do with it?
I went to go ahead.
Oh, so I was just going to say, they said they only take white people's clothes, so they took mine.
I think I was being profiled. They're like, "Oh, this kid, he probably smells like curry." There's all kinds of scents and spices on these clothes.
Yeah, they're like, "Oh, you know how many times you're going to have to wash his clothes?"
No one wants that stuff.
There's all this government paperwork that comes with his clothes.
Who knows what they're going to find? Pieces of shrapnel in the So I brought this like huge suitcase to this thrift store here in Austin. It's called Uptown Cheapskate. And my friends have told me like, "Oh my God, Jamie, they give you cash for your stuff. It's great. They take everything." I was like, when we cleaned out our closet, I've got like brand new jeans from Cutter, from like nice shirts, whatever. I showed up there at 10 a.m. when they opened thinking like, oh, I'm like, I'm so smart. I'm getting here so early. There was like a line down the block. So it took me an hour to even get seen with my clothes. And as I'm waiting, The Real? So the Real
the show is that a show?
No, it's like
it's a website,
a store website.
Yeah.
And they consign like high end stuff. So when you try to consign with them, they do this like ultra vetting process. Like they'll send shit back that's like Prada if it's like not good enough, whatever. I had given shoes to the Real, and they don't give you that good of a deal. My shoes from the Real were at Uptown Cheapskate because it wasn't so random to be like, "Oh, I had those Gucci shoes," but then I was like, and those shoes, and those shoes, and those shoes. So first of all, they had all my shoes. Second of all, I give them this huge suitcase. The girl goes through it in like 4 minutes and was like, "Hey, I can give you $75." And I was like, "For all of this stuff? Like, this is all of this stuff?" She's like, no. She's like, "I don't want all of it. Do you want me to donate the rest of it?" And I was like, felt so defeated.
Yeah.
And
it's hard not to take it personal.
I took it so personal. And then I spent $15 on a dress that was very cute. And I wore it this weekend. And Cutter's like, "This is cute. Where'd you get it?" And I was like, "A thrift store." And he recoiled from me as if I had like the monkeypox.
That's my guy.
That's used? Like, what are you wearing? And I'm like, "What are you talking about?" He was so repulsed that I would have worn somebody else's clothing.
That's my guy. I feel the same way.
You do?
Yeah, that's my guy.
You ever shopped at a thrift store, Rob?
I we were actually on set of Sopranos, I remember, and somebody was like, oh, like there was something I wanted or something, and it was like $200, and I was like, oh yeah, I would get that, and they were like, oh, just buy it at a thrift store, and I was like, I would never buy like a thrift store, and they were like, where do you think all your wardrobe comes from? And I was like, and I remember
we used to do this podcast in a thrift store, basically. It was like all used clothing.
That's right.
Yeah,
we were surrounded by used t-shirts and sweatshirts.
You know what's funny? It's like people have said in the comments on this podcast, like, I don't believe Rob's story. Like, there's no way he lives this way, like spends $250 on lunch, but then like also lives this way and does like things that are like, you know, living ways of like homeless people live. And it's funny because I just got a new suitcase, and I was thinking about this person's comment because the suitcase I had until now, I had from before I met Kassem, which is, what is it, over 8 years ago? And it was broken when I met him.
It's like 10 years now. I think it's 10 years.
Broken,
well, no,
like the handle broken, the zipper broken how?
No,
Did you just celebrate 10 years sober?
No, I haven't been sober 10 years.
Okay.
But I was sober when I met you, so it definitely hasn't been 10. Yeah. But so there's two handles like to grab the bag. It's shaped like a hockey bag, and then there's like two. Okay. There's a handle. Yeah, there's a handle, and then there's like the Velcro. And I guess when like a baggage person was like grabbing it, they grabbed both arms of the handle and went to toss it on the thing, and it ripped like open. So like, but what happens was like, I saw when my fucking suitcase came out, I saw that and I was like, oh, okay, like try to fix it real quick. But what happens is while I'm traveling, I'm like, I have to get a new suitcase. But then when I get home, I'm so relieved to be home that like you put the suitcase in the closet and you forget about it. And then it's like time to travel. You also don't travel a lot. I don't travel a lot. And then it's like time to travel again though. And it's like, oh yeah, I'm taking this out of the suitcase. It's like fully broken thing, like not, and like the wheels are coming off. Like it's a bad look, but I kept using it.
Well, now we know what to get you.
No, I just got a new suitcase. Yeah, here. This is
she fancy?
My apartment's empty.
Oh wow, you
look like you live in like a meth addict den or something. Just nothing. But
are you in a chair? Even are you on the floor?
Yeah, I'm in a chair. But Kassem knows what my apartment. Kassem was a very good friend. He came to help me on Sunday move. We moved all my furniture, and he was very
we have a new show.
Where did you move it?
We have a new show. We came up with a new show while we were moving, Jamie.
Yeah.
What is it? Can I be a part of it?
I don't think so, because it was called, what was it called? 2 kids, 2 moves. Two kids, 2 trips.
We could do 3 kids, 3 trips.
Yeah, and it was.
No, I can't help, so I'll drive the car.
Yeah, that's it. We go to people's houses, basically, and we assess everything, and we get it done all in 2 trips.
Wow. This is a business I support.
Like say there's a grandma whose husband just passed away and she's got to move into a smaller house because she's living in too big of a house now.
That's where we come in.
That's where we come in, and it's me and Rob, and we got our own little van with our faces on the side, and then we go and the opening of the show is like us getting there. We just got the call that Agnes McGillicuddy, her husband just passed, and she needs us to come and help move her stuff. So we go in. We meet Agnes and we get her story. She shows us pictures like, oh, here's Meredith and Harold, when he was out of the war. And we get the whole sob story,
Right.
And while Kassem is listening to the sob story, I'm just eyeing up the furniture, figuring out how we do it in 2 trips.
Yeah, because our personality, Rob's the guy who, logistics. He's handles the engineer. All and I'm there. I'm like the people guy. I'm like consoling. I'm there to make sure people aren't too attached to their stuff. So I'm there. I'm talking to Agnes. I'm getting the story.
Because we drop stuff a lot.
Because we drop a lot. We drop a lot of stuff.
So, and that stuff we just throw it away.
Yeah, but Kassem makes sure they're not too attached to things, just so we know, that it's going to be okay for us. And then like, how in reality shows, like where it's like the fish tank. And it's like we're building this person a fish tank, and it's gonna be 11 by 11 and take 300 gallons. And then it's like Agnes's bed is 11 feet tall, but her doorway is 9 feet wide, and it's like all us figuring out how we're doing this in 2 trips, the 2 kids, 2 trips. Yeah,
exactly. And then her like family's coming to visit. Her son's there. He's like 50. Her son's there. He's like, trying to let go of some stuff. He's also trying to keep some of his stuff. He's looking at his dad's old suit, his dad's old Navy uniform. We all have a nice cry. Rob's out there trying to fit like her old bed frame and credenza and like without scratching it. It's like, this has been in the family for 200 years. And Rob, like, it's like the commercial comes on just as Rob, like, uh-oh, you hear a big thud, you go, uh-oh. And then we come back from commercial. Everything's fine. We figured it out. But there's a lot of drama in the moving boys industry. That's right. We're moving boys. And we think we could do this in a different town, like find a sob story and help somebody who wouldn't have the means to pay for a moving company.
I think we could go international with this, to be quite honest.
Oh, we spin
Rob
it
doesn't. That's in my contract. I don't do international. Sorry.
Imagine moving somebody out of like Mumbai, like
that's when we'll just send Cutter.
Yeah, Cutter can go. As long as all of the clothes are theirs and none are secondhand, because he's not touching the secondhand clothes.
No.
Actually,
he won't. You'll do the clothes, Kass. He'll do the beds.
That's right.
And then the best episode is episode 2. We go to someone's house and they have a cat. So Cassim has to do everything. And I'm just sitting outside on the hood of the car eating an apple,
Yeah, we got our personalities really shine through in this reality
You're onto
show.
something, guys.
It's 50 states, 50 moves, 2 kids, 2 trips. NBC.
Yeah.
Peacock.
No, it's on like it's on like an app for sure. It's on like
this
Discovery
is on Discovery Plus for
Yeah.
sure, which now owns Warner Brothers. Yeah, which will be on HBO Max next year. So
everything's falling apart.
Yeah, we had a good time. Rob, he doesn't have a lot of stuff, but the stuff that he had was of good quality. I thought it was going to be there for like 3 hours. We were done in like an hour. Gave me a bottle of water, sent me on my way. I even got some stuff out of the deal. He gave me a suitcase. He gave me his old Samsonite suitcase that was just packed with like stuff from Air One. And it's like 2 jars of barbecue sauce in there, 3 packs of dehydrated strawberries, 8 packs of tuna,
Wow.
Yeah. Now I had to
That's what you get for those are the perks when you're friends with me.
That's right. What's holding you back from the ultimate gaming experience? Is it the hundreds of dollars it costs for your setup? Or are you the busy, on-the-go type with only minutes to spare? Level up your game with Backbone, the universal gaming essential that instantly enhances your gaming experience on mobile.
Look, for those of you that are looking to try and take some gaming with you on the road, this Backbone piece here snaps in to your phone, and it allows you to have it turns your phone into a controller essentially. And it has an app and you can download, and it's compatible with hundreds of games into the App Store. There's Call of Duty, which I was playing. And if you're the type of person that likes to spend your time on your phone playing games, this thing is such a no-brainer. It's inexpensive and it's built really well and it travels really easily. So if you're like Rob and you're on the plane and you don't feel like watching Shark Tank like he does, and you want to play a game on your phone, but you don't want to just tap the screen and do all that jazz, attach your phone to one of these and you'll have a fully functional controller.
That's right. So go to playbackbone.com/pajama now to order your Backbone for a limited time and get free access to over 350 console games and perks. Backbone is now the official partner of Diablo Immortal. Not only is the game specifically optimized for Backbone, but you will also receive $10 of in-game perks. Find your next adventure at playbackbone.com/pajama.
Yo!
Helix.
How long have you had your mattress?
Such an important question.
Yeah, I mean, look, you're supposed to trade these out every few years.
Yeah, at least, okay? And we have the place for you to go to find your new one, and that is Helix Sleep, okay? You go online and you take the Helix Sleep Quiz. You get matched with a model mattress that is perfect for you. So whether you want soft, medium, firm, whether you're a side, back, stomach sleeper, they take all of this information and find the perfect mattress for you.
That's right. I have a Helix mattress. I also, before I had my Helix, I had a top name brand memory foam mattress, which I will not say. And I thought it was the best mattress that I could get. And I spent a lot of money on it. And when Helix came into the pod, I was like, sure, I'll try the mattress. I know you guys have an in-home trial thing. If I don't like it, I'll just send it back because my mattress is pretty good. It is the Helix is the only mattress that I am currently sleeping on. It is so comfortable. I went online and took the quiz, like Jamie said, figured out that the mattress for me was a Helix Sunset Luxe mattress.
Of course it is.
By the way, because I am the king. And I sleep on it every night, and I get better sleep on it than I did on my name brand memory foam mattress. And I've never been happier, and I've never been getting sleep this good.
There you go. And it comes with a 10 or 15-year warranty. It was rated #1 by GQ and Wired Magazine, and it's even recommended by multiple leading chiropractors and doctors of sleep medicine. So listen, Helix is offering up to $200 off all mattresses and 2 free pillows for our listeners if you go to helixsleep.com/pajama. With Helix, you will sleep better, and that will start now. I got a food question for you, Rob. What are your thoughts on the carnivore diet? Have you heard of it? Do you know this guy, the carnivore guy on Instagram or whatever, and his girlfriend, Animal-Based Bae? Because Cutter is on this kick that this is what we should be doing, which is basically just red meat. They eat organ meat, but they make it in pill form because I can't do that. Eggs, raw milk and cheese, avocados, and all fruit, but no vegetables, no greens, no nuts, no seeds. They say that any kind of vegetables are, to quote them, bullshit, because plants have natural defense mechanisms and chemicals that they put out to survive. And so the idea is that when we ingest them, they put out these defense chemicals that are harmful to our bodies. And so actually eating this way, you will be the leanest and fittest. Your cholesterol goes down, and it's the best for you. He really wants us to try it. So I needed to talk to you guys about this first.
Yeah, well, first I'd like to say welcome to 2013. Yeah, of course, I've heard of the carnivore diet. Here's the thing that I think when because I know people who try the carnivore diet, and what they say is in the beginning you get sick, you don't feel good when you're starting it, and it's hard. I think my manager might have tried it, but it's when you're going through that first week or 2 weeks, it sucks and it's horrible. But then when you get to feeling good, it's great. But then what happens is 3 weeks later, somebody goes somewhere and they fall off the diet, and they go whenever people talk about these extreme diets, I'm why not just eat healthy? I don't know why.
Well, I think the idea is to do a solid month, maybe 2, because I guess it really takes inflammation out of the body and really puts the body in a state to be in its best self, so that when you do fall off the wagon here or there, go out for sushi or have a piece of birthday cake or whatever, your body handles it better than if you're ingesting that kind of stuff all the time.
Yeah, I mean, from everything it was a while ago when I looked into it, but I think it's it depends on where you're getting your meat. You want to get all...
Well, yeah, no, that's very important according to them. Everything wild, grass-fed, they're very specific on how you should be doing it.
Right. So when you talk like that, to me, realistically, somebody who lives a normal life, it's very hard to you know what think about the last 10 places you went to eat. What would you have been able to eat there?
I know. I think, well, that's why in preparation, every meal, I'm okay, if I was doing it, how would it be? It's
right.
hard.
That's why it's so hard. So, but it's just that's why for me, it's just changing the lifestyle of I'm just going to be healthy all the time. Maybe one day a week I eat crazy, and the other, because other times you're just counting the days until it's oh, when can I fall off? And that's just not sustainable to me, especially because most people, when they go through really stressful times in their life, they'll put their carnivore diet in the back seat, all
Sure.
of a sudden they're yeah, I was on carnivore diet for 3 months, then my mom died, and then blah, blah, blah. And it's I don't think, if you're trying to do something healthy, I don't think it should be so fucking difficult. Like your diet, if it's something that you're I'm doing this thing every day that I eat 3 times a day, and this, and every time it's so hard for me, and this, because it's there's, and again, we've talked about this on the show, where it's if I could be behind one charity or one thing, it's figuring out a way that everybody could eat healthy for the same price that people can eat fucking shit. You can go get a cheeseburger at a drive-through with French fries and a drink for $3.99. but like a healthy salad is like $12. It's fucking crazy.
It is.
You know what I feel like is I walk away every documentary I watch that's like food related, or if I listen to a podcast for an hour that's like, we had this guy on and he mentioned that if you eat only mushrooms, you'll start to like become a mushroom and you can talk to plants. I feel like if you gave anyone an hour's worth of your time, you could be convinced just
You're
about
right.
anything.
You're absolutely right.
And
You're right. I've watched too much of this guy's Instagram.
Totally. And these guys are all selling you something, you know? So if you watch an hour of a guy who's selling you on a certain lifestyle, me and Rob we watched this documentary about the farm, biggest little farm. It was an hour and a half movie. We walked away. We were looking at like how to start a farm and like how to go work on this farm. Like it's enough to make you and sell you on a dream. I'd say like 45 minutes. You could get most people to do anything you want.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? How do you think they get those Heaven's Gate people to just like all buy Nikes and then drink the Kool-Aid and die?
Yeah.
You know, it's like those guys had more than an hour. They had like a week or, a month or whatever it was.
Well, I'm a sucker. What do you want me to say?
We're all suckers. We're absolutely all suckers. I've never, when I was like regularly exercising and I was trying all these different diets, I ended up like going hard, like only eating this thing or only trying this, and eventually settled somewhere in the middle, which was just like a decent portion of protein, a little bit of carbohydrates, and as much like greens and leafy greens as you want, minimize sugar intake. And like, that's when I was at my fittest. That was when I was at my happiest. That's when I got the best sleep. And I would have to imagine that's probably like going to handle 80% of the population out there. Now, I work with this guy who's a WWE wrestler, Austin Creed, aka Xavier Woods. Austin Creed, he doesn't eat a single vegetable at all. And he's shredded, he's ripped. He only eats proteins, but also like sugar and like, I don't know if he eats fruit, but like
he probably does steroids.
So on the carnivore diet, you can eat all fruit. Did I say that?
Yeah, no, I didn't. You can eat fruit.
You can eat all fruit and honey.
Good. I think it's like Cutter try it, but like to subject the whole family to it might be a little. I think he should be able to do whatever he wants.
Jack's been eating carnivore diet for years.
Jack's an animal.
Yeah,
Jack's an animal.
But you know what's funny? It's like, because like, when I first got into like thinking about my diet, and this was like 8 or 9 or 10 years ago, and it's like, what I did was I tried all these things out, and then I ended up with a thing that was like, oh, a little bit of this, a little bit of that. Like I basically eat the carnivore diet, but I just have like brown rice.
Yeah.
And besides that, like I'm always eating meat or chicken. It's always like organic, grass fed. And what some of the guys who I listen to, but like one of the most respected guys is like, go with like the 3-fist rule, which Kass knows a lot about the 3-fist rule.
That's how to know how much protein you have?
No, so it's like you have like, if you picture your plate and then you take like your fist here, your fist here, your fist here, you should have something the size of your fist of vegetables, something the size of your fist of carbs, something the size of your fist of protein. Boom. Eat that twice a day, and then a breakfast, same thing. Like in your, it's like all these, like all the best guys who I listen to.
What if you have a little fist?
The most simplistic. Well, then you're a little person, so it's right.
But what if it's like a disproportionate fist?
What if you've got one of these people that has like their fingers are like fused together like this, and then when they make a fist, it's tiny. What if you're
deformed and you?
God, you guys are so inclusive.
What if you got rheumatoid and your fist is like this?
I'm sick of you guys being so like inclusive.
Eating too much food because your knuckles don't go in enough.
Rob said I had my fist.
Yeah.
Kass, I have some UFO stories for you from my friends in Santa Fe. I was just in Santa Fe.
Yeah.
Stop the pod.
Mexico?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I was just I work in New Mexico, but I went up to Santa Fe, and Cutter and the kids came up. Let me say, before I get to UFO, we went to an Imagine Dragons concert 2 nights ago.
Imagine Dragons.
It was the boys.
Oh, Jack must have been going nuts.
It was the boys' first concert. I'll send you a video. They had the best fucking time. Macklemore opened for them, who was awesome.
I thought he was dead.
Macklemore?
No, that was
Miller.
Mac Miller.
Oh, rest in peace.
If you say it fast enough, yeah.
It rained on us. It poured on us. There was it was outside. There was lightning everywhere, but it was epic. It was amazing. It was so cool. My kids were so bad the whole week. so poorly behaved. Like Cutter and I were like at our wits' end. Like they never stop fighting. They're so fucking annoying. But the concert, we all had the best time. So
Good.
I was very grateful for it. But I digress. All right. Back to the aliens. My friend lives in Santa Fe with her husband, and he is not a believer. But he said,
believer.
He said that he has sat out on his porch and seen more than 3 times a green dot come straight down vertically from the sky, rotate, and then disappear straight back. Like there's no cloud coverage, nothing. And he's like, I can't explain it. I've had other people sit there and see it with me. It's happened at least 3 times. I know that I'm alert and aware of what I'm seeing, and it was real.
Kass wants to go to their house for a week.
What do you want to show me, baby?
Stuff.
I'm just gonna have to flip.
He's gonna be like, those are the L4
a green dot
tall droids.
Which one was it?
No, not this. Oh, jeez.
Here he goes. He's in the cool guy handbook right now.
What do you say? You making fun of me because I got
notebook.
UFOs, generals, pilots, and government officials go on the record by Leslie Kean. You're telling me this makes me not cool?
Remember when I laughed at Alejandro Rojas?
Oh my God.
I can't believe
he stopped doing. He stopped like blogging.
Because
he stopped believing in aliens.
You guys, I
stopped believing in anything.
I was sitting in my bed the other night, stoned, and I just thought of that moment. I was remembering laughing.
He doesn't want to be around anymore.
I don't even remember why I was laughing.
You were laughing because he had
that was the rudest I've ever been. That was the rudest I have ever been to anyone in my entire life. Straight up.
You were so out of character. And it was one of these guys that like I was like so pumped to have on. And I was
finally it was him and Chris Marquette.
Dude, Chris Marquette was a great episode.
He was a great episode.
Go listen to the episode with Alejandro Rojas, a famous Pajama Pants episode where the gang finally let me bring a UFO expert on. I don't know what episode that is.
Jamie looked just like this.
I miss having guests. I can't remember what I was left, but I was not at him. But as soon as he started speaking, the giggles started to happen. And when I look at Rob, when I have giggles, it's fucking done. And I tried so hard. I put my head under the table. I had to apologize to him. And was it because we said he looked like Oscar from The Office?
No, I said that later. But the thing was, it was just because like we were waiting, and Kassim's like, oh, I think he's gonna, and then it was like, oh, he's here. And just when he like popped up and like we're talking about UFOs, it was also, we're in like a warehouse with clothes and the pajama. It was just such a thing. But I remember like I wanted to protect you so bad that I made up I was like, oh, the reason we're laughing is, you see, Oscar, blah, blah, blah. And like told him some, Kassim did this earlier. And
he did, but he knew. He knew.
I don't think he knew. Gone. He knows now. He knows.
Yeah, he's watched every episode since. Huge Pajama Pants guy.
He's been waiting for us to talk about it again. God damn it. I still feel, it kept me up at night. The other night I thought about it and felt real bad.
Can you imagine?
While you laughed high.
I will tell your friend I appreciate the story. He's got to be out there with like he's got to have a camera at the ready or his iPhone or something.
They don't capture it, right? Isn't that the thing?
No, man, we got a lot of stuff, man.
Well, the energy there, like in Albuquerque, I've never really felt it, to be honest. But when I went up to Santa Fe, it's a different energy. It's like palpable. There's like some fucking amazing healing energy. I was dark last week. Like I had a really hard week. When we first got there, I was at a really just like sad, frustrated place with MS. And I was like feeling really limited and upset and just, I think I had put on a brave face and I pushed through a lot of the times, but I don't think that that's always the healthiest thing because I clearly was suppressing some types of feelings. And I really was like, I had this moment where I was like, fuck, is this going to be the rest of my life? This is a real bummer. Like, it's really sad to think like I'll have to deal with this for the rest of my life. I'm willing to accept it. And obviously I'll do what it takes, but I just needed a minute to feel bad about it. And on top of it, as I told you, my kids were being like the worst. And I went to see this healer, and I'm not going to get into like what happened, but like, I don't know what happened, but since I walked out of his place, I'm like a different person.
Oh.
I'm like, and even Cutter was like, I feel so much better being around you. I'm not worried about you. When we were at the concert, you guys, like I had my walking stick and Cutter, but like it was a far ass walk, like up and down hills, this and that. I did it. I powered through. Like there's some shit going on in that area of the country and the world. And it was dope.
That's what's up.
It's
what
what's
this
up.
healer
And it's
do?
some alien shit. Everything. Like his name was Rick. We barely spoke. I don't know.
Not the name I thought
like,
you were going to say.
I know, right? You thought I was going to be like Lightning Bolt or something. His name was Rick.
Rick.
I fear to describe it because it would like take away from the magic. Do you know what I mean? Like it was just, I feel like he put me in a place of pure surrender.
Yeah, but is this like a physical thing that he did to you, or is it like just energy?
I was
work?
laying on it, just energy work. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That stuff's real big right now. I got to tell you, when I was on the dating apps, every 1 in 5 girls was a Reiki worker.
Really?
That's because Kasim goes for a type.
Tell me, what is the type that's fine?
You know how many Reiki workers I came across? 0.
A lot of unemployed artists from the East Side.
Yeah, East Side.
Yeah.
What are you putting in your search that's bringing up Reiki artists?
Lower back pain. I don't know. I just think that's something like an LA thing where people can like getting their realtor's license. They do in their spare time. You know, they go, I'll just get my Reiki certification. And you know, technically, I don't know if there's like a governing body. I think you just have to like go to an office where like there are 2 crystals that hand you a form or something. And
it's like the defensive driving course that you take when you're barely paying attention to it on your computer. And you're like, I know all of this stuff now.
Yeah. And you can take it over if you fail, like right away.
Right.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad you're feeling better. And I'm glad you saw Imagine Dragons. I'm about to go see.
What a good concert. What a good concert, you guys.
Yeah, I've been seeing a lot of live music. It is good to be back, but I'm glad I can go do it without worrying about COVID since I just got it. You know, and isn't that kind of a nice sort of like free, like now that you just had it, don't you feel like you can kind of just do whatever right now?
Yes, and it was outside, so it just it was nice to be in that kind of environment and nobody had a mask on.
Yeah,
I hope I'm not
please.
People are ready.
No, we all. What
are you doing with all those maskless people?
We all like not having a mask on.
Imagine Dragons.
If you have COVID, if you haven't had COVID still, like and it makes you feel better to wear a mask, great. I totally get it. Like my parents need to wear a mask on the rare occasion they leave their house. Yeah. But I think most people have had COVID by now. At least most people that I know. There's only like a couple people that haven't. Wear your masks if that's you. But most people have it, and then they can just kind of walk around with it now. Yeah. I know people that are getting infected for the 2nd and 3rd time now.
I had the 3rd time like 3 weeks ago. Yeah,
it's crazy, bud.
I was on a plane, and the like pilot said the best thing ever. He's like, hey, so with COVID, he's like, you don't have to wear a mask, but if somebody wants to, let's respect that, and we'll be in New York soon. It's like, yeah, it's that easy.
Yeah,
that's it. That's like, all they have to say.
Yeah.
Whenever I look at anyone, I don't judge anyone for not wearing or wearing one at all.
Yeah, it's so normal now.
When fucking other people though are like, you should. It's like, shut the fuck up. Get out of my fucking business. Like, why aren't you having your 4-year-old wear a mask for 2.5 years? It's like, figure it out, asshole. Like, if you're asking me that question, go fuck yourself.
Yeah, man.
I think Jack's had COVID 17 times, to be honest.
Yeah, he's
Jack is COVID. He's probably more COVID.
Jack is COVID.
Yeah.
Those aren't arms; those are spores coming out of his body.
Yeah. Little COVID Dykstra. Jamie, what do you think? Like, do you ever try and take stock in like? And I don't know what it is. Like, what's going on in your life beforehand or this, because I feel like you go so like there's weeks where you're like, I feel so positive about MS and like everything's great, and then there's times where you're like, it's really hurting me right now. Like, is it just random, or do you think there's like things that happen?
I mean, I'm sure that I'm sure in obviously more stressful times in my life, or if I'm more tired, but I really feel like this specific low that I had last week was the lowest I've ever had.
Whoa.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's kind of a big deal. I think you're Yeah. I mean, maybe you're underselling.
No, it was hard. It was hard.
Yeah.
It was really hard. But I felt in my heart that I needed to go there. You know what I mean? Like, it was a place that I dipped my toe in, but I was like, I need to feel really fucking sad and mad, all of the things right now. And I did. And you know, I would be with my family, and I was mad that we had to fucking, like, I wanted to hike with my kids. I wanted to do all these things. And I was getting angry. Like, they aren't behaving because they're sitting in a fucking room right now when we should be outside doing things. And I was mad because it stops me from being who I want to be. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to just sit and hang out. Like, I'm somebody that really likes to be active, that would be the one that would be doing all of the things. So I think I just really had to come to terms with that and be pissed about it. But I think the one thing in the healing session that really was significant was the place of surrender that I went to. Like, I feel like metaphorically, I've always been trying to like push this disease down and beat it and fight it and push and push and push. And it felt like I almost like been pushing it down, just keeping it in my lower body. And I laid on that table and just literally like opened my arms, and I'm like, come in, like, welcome, like, I'm not fighting it anymore. Like, I'm just going to let it move around in me, do whatever it has, and talk to me, message me, whatever. Cause I've given it, as you know, so much meaning. I've taken from it as many lessons as I can. And I'm grateful for the lessons. And I've talked about this a million times, where I really feel like it's shaped who I am, and I'm proud of that. But at the same time, I really I don't want it anymore. I'm really like done. And I don't know what this means for me physically, but I know it means that I really feel like a lot of that fear has been lifted, and I don't know if I'll have to go there again and I'll feel sad again, and maybe I will, but I just, like, you know, Cutter, and he has even said to me the past couple of days, he's like, I don't know why, but like, I'm not worried when I'm around you anymore. Like, I feel different around you. So
I remember you had, maybe not to this level, but you kind of had this same sort of battle with MS a couple years ago, or like 3 years ago, where you kind of had to like sit in it for a while, and then like you came out of it, and then like you almost like you made some sort of like bargain with it, or like, I don't know, you seem to have some peace with it. But I think much like a lot of things that we have in life, like, we go through ebbs and flows with that stuff. Like,
and it's a journey, and it's like, and it's, I think I would like allow little bits here and there of things, of pieces of healing, but it felt like a big one. It felt like a big shift.
It was right when you were manifesting a lot of stuff, and you were putting out like positive vibes, and you were getting like job after job. And I remember that. Yeah. But it was like right before all that, like, you were having a tough time with your MS, and you were vocal about it on the pod too.
Yeah.
Well, you know, like, I know like one time on Joe Rogan, like a long time ago, he was talking about like, Tony Robbins, and he's like, you know, is that guy a scam? Is it all a scam? Like, that whole thing of like going somewhere, like getting pumped up and this. And he's like, well, research shows that like for 2 or 3 months after that, like, people really do improve in their lives, and they do better, and they're more successful, and they feel better in this. But most people within 3 months or whatever fall back into their old ways, whether it's quick or slowly, or something happens or whatever. And he's like, which surprised me, his conclusion was like, well, then I don't know, maybe it is a scam. Where like, you know, seeing Joe Rogan and his whole thing is like, oh, I go to the gym and I work out every day and I do all this stuff for my body. And it's like, dude, you know what happens if you stop that shit for 3 months? Like, because I've stopped going to the gym for 3 weeks before when I was sick, and I try and go back and I'm like, fuck, like I see my belly a little bit, like I'm not like, I don't feel good, I'm this, and I'm like, no, that's just what, like, you know, the older I get, the more I think like that's what life is. It's like you can get to this point or whatever, but that doesn't mean you're there, like you're for good or whatever. You know what I mean? It's like it's always work to stay there.
You can always get back on the beam, and the beam is a lot lower than you think it is. You know, and I have to tell myself that because I just hit like 1 year of not working out. Anyone's that been listening to the pod for a while has known that was kind of like a big part of my, you know, like staying healthy was like, it made me feel good. It was, I liked the way I looked. I just had more energy. And then kind of when I had this job, it became harder for me to like do the things I did, because I could, you know, before I could kind of just wake up whenever and work out whenever. And it's a lot easier to do that. And I'm one of those guys that's like kind of all or nothing. And Rob always tells me this too. It's like, you don't have to like go back to the level that you were at, which is like strength training 3 days a week, cardio in the days that you're off, like doing, you know, activity. Like I can just hop on the Peloton once this week and see how I feel.
Yes.
You know, and then I tell myself that, and then I still get, and I'm sure this is a lot of people go through this. You go, all you got to do is just get on that thing once. And then a day will go by and I'll be like, oh, I'm just like, I couldn't make time. I just didn't do it. And then I'm like upset at myself because I know exactly what I need to do. I'm just not doing it. And I know exactly what it feels like on the other side, and I'm still not doing it. But there will be a day where I just get on and like things will click, and I'll just be like, oh yeah, like I wish I would have done this sooner. And I feel like I'm getting close to it.
Well, that's why I always have to do trainers, because it's an appointment. And I feel a commitment that I've
You don't want to let someone else down too. Yeah. Waste somebody else's
It's true.
time.
It's like once you're like 3 weeks in of doing it like once or twice a week, you reap the benefits, and then you're like, okay, like because you know you can fit it into your life. Like, you know, you can.
Totally. I'll just be a little more tired during the day, but like the benefit outweighs.
All right.
I hear you. Well, here's the thing is because I have like low, you guys know, I'm like slightly low T. I'm anemic. I like need this. I need a certain amount of sleep, or else I'm not right. I can't.
We get you little TT shots.
The way you just, I've never been more emasculated than the way you just said TT shots at me.
I just pictured Jamie flicking the tip of a needle. She's like, it's time for your TT shot, Kass.
And she's pulling out my little dick, and she's like just injecting it right into the little shaft.
Just a little TT.
If she wasn't depressed last week.
Yeah. Beam is a lot lower than you guys think it is.
I like that.
Do you guys want to read some emails? I have a couple ones that are like patting us on the back, which I feel like is always good.
Yeah, whatever. You know what the other thing is, Jamie? It's like, I feel like it's a catch-22 with like maybe like who you are and what you want, but what the reality is, because it's like, you want to be someone who people don't worry about, but then it's like, when is it like, when are people supposed to be like, hey, are you okay? Like, because like you put that thing forward so much. And I don't know if it's that or just that, like, I see the person who you are deep down, and it makes me like not worry about you, because I'm like, it's Jamie. Like, Jamie's fine. Jamie doesn't, with everything, you know what I mean? It's like with whatever you've
also seen me through like a lot of shit, and I always pull through. So yeah.
And also, and I hear you say a lot, like, I just want to be somebody that people don't have to worry about, and like, don't this. So it's like, oh yeah, then even like, if I do worry about you ever, it's like, oh, Jamie wouldn't want me to worry about her, but you're also just like not someone I worry about, you know, which is like, which can be bad, because then it's like, when are the times that I'm like, hey, Jamie, are you okay? Like, I would never, like, you know, I just like, I don't know.
No, I like that. I don't want you to do that, because no, don't change that, because that makes me feel, it makes me feel less isolated than I already feel in my own head because of it, if that makes sense. You know what I mean?
Yeah, totally. No, and it's not even about like you saying like, you'd want me to do it or this, but I'm just saying it's like, it's got to be a weird, like, that's such a weird seesaw to like manage of like, when you're really dealing with stuff, but you want to be the person who's like, don't worry about me and I'm fine. And then it's just it's got to be hard when like.
I think it also comes from like what we've done for a living, what I do for a living, because you just got to show up no matter what. You know what I mean? Like you can't bring your shit to work. Like you got to do your job. People depend on you. So I think I just have that attitude too of like, leave my stuff at home because it's not anybody's problem.
Here's a weird question. Can actors file for like disability? Like if you were like, hey, I was
if you got hurt on a job.
But what about like
on a job?
Okay, but what like if somebody's working a job for 20 years and then all of a sudden they have MS and can't do that job anymore?
I think just I don't
this
know.
is three people's faces who have not had a real job in a long time.
I have no idea.
Look at Cass's face.
Am I retarded?
Is somebody doing your backyard right now that you could ask, Cass?
Yeah, is there a normal person? Who knows?
Who knows? All right, emails.
Let's read this email. This is from Amanda. Subject: they invite me places. Hi, Jamie, Rob, and Cass. I'm Amanda from Long Island. I'll keep the gushing to a minimum. When I tagged Jamie in that Instagram video of Rob's interview, I wasn't expecting any kind of response. She's talking about the one where Rob was on the red carpet.
They invite me places here.
Yeah. Just thought it'd be cool for you guys to get a chance to see it. Then the next week, I see that on the pod, and my nerding out reached a new level. My jaw dropped and felt honored. I've seen all 148 episodes of the pod. Hey, good for you. You guys helped me get through my sobriety, knowing I'm not alone in that. Some advice you gave would be so wholesome and would allow me to look at things differently. You helped me get through a lot. You guys have made me ugly snort laugh and cry like a blubbering fool. You get so personal and honest, relatable in all aspects. I'm 29. I've been obsessed with The Sopranos since I was 18. I've gotten friends and family hooked on it, even traveled to Jersey to meet a lot of the cast. Just wanted to show my appreciation and say thank you. And I hope to keep seeing you guys. It's been nice getting to know you. To quote Rob, authenticity is always in style. Thanks, Amanda. Did you say that?
Sure.
Sounds like a Rob
sounds like
quote
something
to
you
me.
would say, but then you would be like, you'd point to it a little bit.
Thank you for those nice words, by the way.
You know what's weird? When I hear those emails, like during it, I guess like it's like, oh yeah, and as soon as he's done, like it doesn't feel like it was about me or us. You know what I mean?
Yes, I know what you mean.
Like I'm like, wow, that person sounds really nice, and she's saying some nice things about some people.
Yeah.
This one's from Christine. Subject: Rob's allergies and Nick Swisher.
That's Tom Segura's wife, Christine. That's what Joey Diaz calls Christina P.
Oh, okay, got it.
Never correct him.
APJ Pants Pod, fairly new listener here, currently living down in Panama City, Florida, the Redneck Riviera, but originally from Buffalo, New York, where my heart still lives. Go Bills. I just started listening to the pod following Jamie's appearance on Off the Beat with Brian Baumgartner.
Oh,
I'm a huge Sopranos fan. I watched it when it was out. I was in high school at the time. I'll never forget the series finale that Sunday night and how I was left reeling for the next week. My husband and I just recently rewatched the entire series, and I have a whole new appreciation for it as an adult. I don't really have a question. Just wanted to share that my significant other and I enjoy listening to you guys each week. I have a little bit in common with all of you. I'm constantly laughing out loud to myself. On the very first episode, Rob mentioned his allergies. I too have cat and dog allergies and asthma. I always have to ask if someone has pets before going to their house, and 99% of the time, they're taken aback about why I would have to ask such a question. It's nice to hear someone else share the same problem. If you don't suffer from allergies or asthma, you just don't get it. I have a 5-year-old daughter, so Jamie's stories about being a mother resonate with me. And Cass, well, he's just the sweetest and funniest, and I'm so glad to have been introduced to him through the pod. Oh, yes, to touch on Nick Swisher, I was so excited to hear him mention last week on the pod. Confession, I've always had a huge crush on him, and it's neat to know that Jamie's family and his are so close. The connections to my life and interests always come up on the pod in the most random ways, and I love it. Thanks to all three of you for being so awesome. The time and energy you put into making the episodes are very appreciated, so please keep going. Are all of you watching anything interesting right now? Jamie, I finally started Yellowstone, and I'm hooked. Thanks for the recommendation. Take care, all. Thanks for making my days a little brighter. Thanks, Christine.
Thanks,
That feels a
Christine.
little more appropriate. I feel like that I can relate to. It's like, oh, Jamie's the sweetest and she's so nice, and Casim's the best guy ever, and Rob has asthma and allergies.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right on. Now I feel like they're talking about us.
What's a new show?
Season 6, Peaky Blinders is out.
Oh,
Oof.
Cutter just watched it and he was like, he thought it was the best.
There's a lot of good TV.
The
Here's
Old
my thing
Man,
with
I hear, is good.
with Jeff Bridges.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I'm watching The Rehearsal, which is Nathan Fielder's new show on HBO. Do you know?
Oh,
who
I
Nathan
heard it's
Fielder-
really funny.
It
He
could
did
be-
that Nathan.
It could be
For
one
You,
of the
right?
funniest. Yes, it could be the funniest show I've ever seen. And I'm not trying to over.
See, I didn't like
sell
Nathan For You.
If you don't like Nathan For You, then
He's great.
It's a sensibility thing for sure.
Okay.
But it's like I talked a little bit about this earlier today, but just in the first episode, and it's in the trailer, so I'm not really spoiling anything. The conceit of the show is that he will help people rehearse a big moment that they want to do or accomplish in their lives. And so it opens with Nathan coming over to this guy Skeet's house, and he the guy Skeet opens his door, and Nathan introduces himself, and they're in this guy's apartment, and they're talking about what he wants to accomplish. And the guy's like, well, I've been harboring this lie for 12 years in my trivia group, and I want to come out and tell them that I've been holding this lie. And Nathan's like, well, we're going to do that via rehearsal. You may not know this, but I've been rehearsing this moment over and over and over. And they cut to, and Nathan was like, there was a moment last week where you might have remembered where the gas company came over to inspect a gas leak, and they cut to footage of these guys in this guy's apartment, and they're just LiDAR mapping this guy's whole apartment, right? They built this guy's apartment to scale.
Wow.
They put all the books they would have on the shelf, like they to scale built this guy's apartment, and they just showed Nathan rehearsing all the shit that he just did, like coming in and like all the little jokes that, oh, is this Door City? Because he sees 2 doors. And it's like, it's just one of the most unbelievably funny things. And so much effort is put in. It's such an absurd concept. And if you liked Nathan For You, I'm sure you're already watching it, but if you haven't watched it yet, I think it's one of the finest pieces of TV I've seen in a long time.
Oh, yeah. That's good. Did you guys watch The Bear? Did you watch The Bear?
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, that's because you know why? Because Jamie wanted to say yeah, and then she realized she just said she didn't like it, and she was like, "Oh, it's good for you." Yeah.
Yeah, it's good. No, Jamie, I haven't watched The Bear.
I told you to.
Yeah, have you watched it, Jamie?
In its entirety. I talked about it on here.
Oh yeah.
I don't even know what
Good.
this is.
Rob, I told you to watch it. The show at the guy at the restaurant in Chicago. There's
Oh
7
yeah,
episodes on it.
I don't associate that name with that show. Yeah, I didn't see it yet, but I know the show you're talking about. That's right.
You can watch it on the plane.
No.
No.
Do you not watch things on a plane?
Yeah, I save episodes of Shark Tank just for
No.
That's your plane show? Is
Planes?
this a superstition
Because-
that you have to watch Shark Tank?
yes, but also it's also because it's like ADD where like it keeps my focus because it's like changing and this.
I
where,
had
like,
no idea you did this.
Yeah,
I
if
had
I'm
no
watching
idea
a
you did
show,
this.
like if I'm watching a show and I get bored for 5 minutes, my brain starts like going. Where Shark Tank
You're
is
not
like,
going to get bored with the bear.
nah, I can't risk it, Jay. I already downloaded
All right.
8 episodes of Shark Tank.
What's a crazy product idea? Have you watched one of those and been like, oh, I'm gonna make this? That's essentially what people do when they watch that show.
Yeah, no, I'm not that. Like that's not my. You know what I mean? Like the same
That's
way.
not your
Like
go-to.
yeah,
No
like,
entrepreneurial spirit in you, huh?
no. Like I like the idea of like
Did you
starting.
think there was?
I like the idea of like starting with somebody from a ground up thing and like, oh, how could we figure out other use cases for it? But actually being like, oh, I have this pen, and if I turn it, like I don't know. I want people to like make.
Yeah.
The most original I am is when I don't have a squatty potty in a hotel and I take 2 rolls of toilet paper and I put my feet on that instead.
Oh, that's crafty.
Thanks. Yeah, see, maybe I should go in with that.
Yeah.
Hey, Mark Cuban.
See these right here? It's toilet paper, yes, but watch this.
Yeah.
You just put your
and
feet
they're like,
on
oh, why are you naked from the waist down?
Serve security.
Just wait,
Yeah.
Mark.
You just take a shit on their stage. Yeah, I didn't know that you watched that stuff. That's great. I have to check out Peaky Blinders. I did watch Sandman too, a few episodes of the Sandman, which is based on the comic book. Have you ever heard of the comic book Sandman?
No.
Okay, I'm not going to get into it. This isn't.
Yeah, this is
isn't
for
the
your
arena.
this is for your other job, pal.
Yeah, this isn't the arena for this, and I apologize. Although there were some people that wrote in that there are Sopranos ex Marvel fans that cross over. So those of you can hit me up in my DMs.
Cool.
I'll give you my opinion. Cool.
I watched. That's good. Cool. Yeah. We got to get sound bites of just Jamie. For when Jamie's not here, we got to get little sound bites of her just going, cool. Like I hit my space bar and it's Jamie going, that's good. I watched a video of Kass at Comic-Con. Very funny.
The man on the
he
street
was
video?
shining. Kass at Comic-Con, I watched you and I was like, there he is. I could see you happy doing your God-given gift, like doing your
Unknowing
thing.
people.
No,
Yeah.
but like you were, hold on.
Oh, not the clicking now, please. Not in the middle of high praise.
That's the real God. Our God.
That's right.
Oh,
You were
no.
just shining and I loved it.
Thanks, babe. I appreciate it.
You were
and I
amongst
love
your
you very
people.
much.
Yeah, you know what it is?
You said it like you were wearing a fedora.
He's
amongst your people.
He's amongst his people, but rightly so. He's looked at as a cool guy in that crowd. So he's not just
like the Pied Piper.
I'm a day walker. I'm like Wesley Snipes in that Blade movie. You know, a little bit of this, a little bit of that, hybrid. Yeah,
right. Like 20 years ago, you were just a guy walking around those places, and then you were looking at them like so angry that you weren't. The respect wasn't on your name, the proper
That's right.
respect.
Yeah. No, that's right.
You got it. You went to
I-
YouTube and you got it.
I got
no
it,
one
buddy.
that's good's you there.
And no one pats you on the back at no one patronizes you at Comic-Con.
No. I'm
Endless
a king.
praise.
That's right. And then I come back to this pod and I am humbled. All right. Well, guys,
Anyway.
that's a great pod back. The three amigos, they call us, huh? Yeah, we're back. And we hope you guys enjoyed this pod. Please, if you're watching it on YouTube, click that subscribe button. Click that bell, too, while you're at it. Get that notification going.
Can we do the hello again? Let's do the hello again.
From the top?
Let's do the hello again. Remember Rob didn't do the
guys.
hello.
Hi.
Yeah, go ahead.
I was just gonna leave it again.
Yeah.
Hey guys!
Yeah.
Hi, welcome back. Sorry, go ahead, Kass.
Yeah, no, that's it. Really, we're on Instagram. We have a TikTok. Jamie and I are on Instagram. Rob's off the grid. Do not try and contact him.
We're
going to be on the road. Rob's going to be zooming in. So the pod is going to be all Zoom for a while. I know Rob loves that, but we would rather do that than not. So we appreciate you guys dealing and putting up with that.
Rob's going to Miami, then Rob's going to Maine, then Rob's going to New York. Rob's on the move.
Rob is bi-coastal.
Who says he doesn't like to travel? This guy's all over the
this
place.
guy.
International man of leisure.
Making moves.
Great. We'll see you in the next one, guys. Have a great week.
Bye.